Today, I'm going to tell you the 4 things that I don't think exist at the San Diego Country Club anymore. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. Hey, when I was a kid, I didn't grow up with much money, but like a lot of people, you got a rich uncle. So I actually had an aunt and uncle that lived out in San Diego, and they were members of the San Diego Country Club. This was the late 80s, early 90s, and so one of the things that would happen is that they would invite me out in the summer, and I would be able to go out and spend the summer with them. And one of the things that I loved doing at that time was going to the San Diego Country Club, do as much golfing as possible. Especially for someone that grew up in Detroit without a lot of resources. I certainly couldn't go to the golf course anytime I wanted, and I certainly wasn't going to golf courses that were as nice as the San Diego Country Clubs. And because that was now about 30 years ago, I thought I would tell you 4 things that I remember from the San Diego Country Club that I bet don't exist anymore today. So the first one is, when I would ask my uncle if we could play golf the next day, he would say, sure, just call up the country club, call the pro shop so you can get a tee time for tomorrow morning. So I would call and I would talk to this very perky, wonderfully friendly lady and talk to her about what tee times were available. If there is a Disney friendly, she was 50% more amped up than that. She was just a super bubbly, super excited lady that would do anything for you. I think she's kind of one of those people that has never had a bad day. And so I bet they don't have someone answering the phone like that anymore, because I bet you just log in on your website into your member portal and sign up for an open tee time. You probably have an app on your phone, something like that. So I'm sure while you can call and make a tee time, I bet most people just do it online. And so I bet the modern version of her is no longer around. Number 2, you remember these big ovals that they would have? So you would be able to figure out which plane you were swinging on in practice. Well, they would have one of those and a bunch of other training aids at the driving range for lessons. So when I would go out there, I would take a few lessons from their pro, and they would have all sorts of like training aids. You would watch your swing, give you some feedback, some tips, those types of things. And now I bet it's just a GC quad that they put down there. So I remember all this equipment that would be at the driving range, so that when you would take a class, they would have it all right there. And I bet that driving range looks pretty empty now, because I bet everything that the pro needs to train you fits in his backpack. So I bet all that stuff is now gone. Number 3, at that time, cell phones weren't really a thing. And so when you would leave the 8th green going to the 9th tee box, there would be a telephone in a little box, and it would call the kitchen from the tee on the 9th hole. And so you could order a hot dog or a hamburger, fries, and drinks. And that way, after you're done playing the hole, 12, 15 minutes later, they would have your food ready for you so that you wouldn't waste a lot of time at the turn. And so I thought that was super cool. That way you had your food waiting for you right when you got there. Number 4 is, I bet they don't have any Masters champions as members anymore. Maybe they do. Now, I bring this up because San Diego Country Club had a Masters champion when I was there. And in fact, I got to meet him. He was playing in the group ahead of me. Billy Casper was actually playing with one of his sons, and so he was super nice, signed an autograph for me. It's still an autograph that I have in my office. It was really cool. Got to talk to him a couple times as we would catch up to him on tee boxes. But even if they do have pro golfer members at the club, I wonder if they actually have any Masters champions anymore. But I bet most country clubs don't. So those are the 4 things that I think don't exist at the country club anymore. But if you have stuck around this long, I have a bonus one. I have a 5th thing that I don't think exists at the country club anymore, but part of me thinks that it probably does. And that was these signs around the water hazards that said non-potable. So it just meant that the water was not drinkable. You certainly couldn't drink it. I mean, I guess physically you could, but it wouldn't do you any good. It'd probably give you a little bit of the rumbly tummy. And I'm not sure who on a golf course is so thirsty that you would drink algae covered or lily pad covered, sludgy, dyed, stagnant water, but apparently, maybe some people do, but they would have these signs all over the course saying non-potable. Certainly, no one I knew was even tempted to ever drink the water. I think most people didn't even want to go in or touch the water. And so I think those signs were pretty unnecessary, and I kind of doubt that they are there. But my knowledge of California is that they tend to really embrace warnings on everything, and so I guess it wouldn't surprise me if there are actually non-potable signs all over the water hazards at the San Diego Country Club. So, the San Diego Country Club in Chula Vista, California, great place. I had so many great memories there as a kid. Man, I would love to go back. There's nothing about country club life that is ever going to really intersect with my life in particular, but I had some great times there, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful golf course and facility. So for all of the people that are members there, I envy you, but man, I still got those great memories in my mind. So a big thanks go out to the San Diego Country Club and my aunt and uncle for making some of those memories happen. Hey, if you want to see some of my favorite golfing equipment, I'll put a link to it in the description below. Peter Von Panda, out.
We can discover more and explore so much deeper.